You have no legal right to restrict access here. The city approved these plans.
This is private property. If you attempt to cross this chain, I will call security immediately.
I knew the HOA had finally lost its mind when I walked past the council hall at 6:10 a.m., felt the cold morning air on my face, smelled fresh asphalt from last night's roadwork, and saw a thick chain and shiny padlock blocking the sidewalk like a crime scene. Orange cones, flashing hazard lights from a contractor truck, and a big cardboard sign, "Sidewalk closed. Residents only." People were stepping off the curb into the street, cars crawling by, horns blaring. My coffee went from warm comfort to pure rage in about 3 seconds. This was the only safe path to the bus stop, to the school, to the tiny council hall where the community meetings happened. And now it was locked like some private VIP club they owned. A neighbor in pajamas whispered that the HOA president, Karen, had ordered it at 5:30 a.m. She stood nearby in her big white SUV, heater running, scribbling on a clipboard. When I asked what she was doing, she said it was an HOA matter and that I could walk around like everyone else. "That sidewalk is city property," I said. She smirked and told me to read my rules. In that moment I knew this was not just about a chain. This was about control. This is how HOA padlocked the council hall sidewalk for 48 hours, then I filed the injunction and everything flipped. I tried to start normal. I emailed the board at 8:02 a.m., calm and nice. I called the property manager and got a board voice telling me they would pass along my concern. By 9:00 p.m. that night, the padlock was still there, gleaming under the streetlight. Kids had to walk in the gutter to get home from the park. One mom slipped on wet leaves and almost went down with a stroller. Neighbors saw it and looked away. They were scared of fines. Karen drove by slow, window cracked, pretending not to see. When I tried to talk to her again, she barked that I was trespassing on HOA business and she would call security. We do not even have security. Just her, a phone, and a stack of violation forms. That was my line in the sand. I went home, slammed my door, and pulled out my laptop. I promised myself I would only use proper channels. No yelling. No drama in the street. Just facts. I pulled the subdivision plat, the city maps, the council hall lease, everything. That sidewalk had a recorded public easement going back to 1998. I dug into call logs from the past year. Karen had called police on neighbors 12 times over suspicious walking. In my notes I wrote it out like a case file. Timeline item 1 April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. When the clerk finally handed me the HOA complaint log at City Hall, the file landed with 63 pages on the counter. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. The more I read, the worse it got. There were fines for kids chalking on the sidewalk. A $200 fine for a grandma sitting on the bench too long. And now a chain across a city sidewalk in front of the council hall. I met with the small town council attorney on May 3, 2024 at 3:15 p.m. I laid the binder on his desk and slid over my printed screenshots of the padlock. He raised his eyebrows and said the chain had to come down. He explained that the HOA could not block public right-of-way, period. I asked if we could make it official. He said one word. Injunction. So that night I stayed up, typing and retyping, turning my rage into neat, simple sentences a judge could read in 2 minutes. The payoff came faster than I expected. On day 2 of the padlock stunt, the HOA scheduled a members-only improvement forum at the council hall for 6:00 p.m. The chain was still across the sidewalk, forcing everyone through the parking lot like cattle. Neighbors arrived in their Sunday best. Phones were already out. People were filming the stupid chain. At 6:12 p.m., a sheriff's deputy and a city inspector walked up the street, boots crunching on gravel. They stopped at the padlock, looked at my photos, then at Karen, who stood at the door holding her clipboard like a shield. The deputy read from the judge's order that I had filed that morning. The injunction said the HOA was barred from blocking any public easement, effective immediately. You could feel the air shift. Neighbors leaned in. Someone whispered, "This is about the chain, right?" The inspector took pictures while the deputy told Karen the lock had to be removed now or the city would remove it and bill the HOA. She tried to argue that it was a safety measure, that non-residents were loitering. The deputy pointed to the language in the order, calm and flat. Online, this whole thing was already blowing up. Our local Facebook group had a live video running. My cousin was streaming from across the street. When the maintenance guy finally waddled over with bolt cutters and snapped the chain, people started clapping. One teen yelled, "Free the sidewalk," and everyone laughed, even the deputy. After that, the authority flip hit hard. The council scheduled a special review. The same evidence I had gathered for the injunction went into that. The 12 bogus calls. The photos of kids walking in the street. The padlocked sidewalk. The council's legal advisor explained, slowly, that the HOA had overstepped its power and violated city code. The board was ordered to open access, pay a fine, and attend a training on public easements and harassment. Karen lost her role as president in a 9-1 recall vote. The property manager sent out a nervous email saying they would rebuild trust. For once, nobody was scared to hit reply all. In the weeks after, things actually got quiet. The sidewalk stayed open. No more cones. No more chains. Kids chalked flowers all over the path in front of the council hall, and nobody wiped them off. One morning I walked by and saw Mr. Lopez, who used a cane, sitting on the bench he used to get fined for, sipping coffee from a paper cup. He nodded at me and said, "Good work, neighbor." I just smiled and told him it was the law doing its job this time. The cold air felt softer. The council hall looked like it belonged to all of us again, not just a clipboard and a white SUV. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.